Hey, what's happening, family? It's your man, Mark Black. You know what time it is. Got your Joe, got mine. By the way, did anybody say they wanted one of these? Right? Well, you can get one. Follow the links in the description in the box there and get you one. Again, unofficial ADOS merchandise, but it helps support my channel, and I appreciate appreciate all the love and support. Before I get into this, another thing I want to mention is that we're very, very close to 1,000 subs. It's a little magical mark here on YouTube. As soon as we break that 1,000, of course, you'll be the first to know. I've got a special video plan that I'm going to do the moment we hit 1,000 Angry Black Sheep. So make sure that you go ahead and you sign up. If you haven't subscribed already, you already watching, so I know you're interested. If you have friends, if you have family that you're trying to get more information to, hopefully you consider me enough of a resource to do that. So go ahead and have them subscribe. I'm not going to always say things you agree with, but you know that I'm an advocate for you, that I'm somebody who's going to speak on your behalf. All right? So stop hesitating. Go ahead and pull the trigger. Likes, shares, and subscribes, like I always say, are free. You don't have to pay nothing. You don't have to give nothing. Although there's links in the description box for that too. And of course, that's appreciated. So make sure if you have the opportunity to do that. Yesterday, I uploaded one of my old videos from my old channel, and I wanted to discuss that in a little bit more detail. You see, back in the day, when I first got on YouTube, I'm like many, I see the need to be a part of something larger than myself, right? A need for me to be able to connect with a group of people. My family, group of people who share the same thing as me, right? The same connections, the same ties as me, right? It's a natural human thing to want to group up with other people who you can relate with, that you resonate with, that you vibe with. And so, as Mark Black, I thought that I would have the opportunity to be not only influenced, right, by this group of people that I wanted to be a part of, but also to be an influencer of those people. I'm 46 years old, right? So I'm not quite an old head, but I'm getting up there, right? I'm, what would you say, middle-aged. And as a middle-aged man, you start thinking about things like the legacy that you leave behind, right? I'm, over the hump, so to speak, right? And that's cool. So I spent 3 years on this thing talking about different topics, different subjects, things like that, right? And it was a wild ride. Learned a lot of stuff. Matter of fact, you can hear about some of the things I learned on the videos here on my channel, where I talk about confessions of a former pro-black YouTuber, right? So learn some wild shit about a wild group of folk. But I don't want to digress too far. One of the things that I learned was that this natural human inclination, this instinct, if you will, to connect with other humans in a way that is harmonious, in a way that resonates, is natural. It's absolutely natural. It's normal, right? It's so normal, in fact, that we'll make a way to do it. If there were no YouTube, if there was no social media, we would have invented something similar to it. Even if it involved goddamn passenger pigeons or semaphore flags, right? Communication for human beings is all about connection. Always has been, always will be. We have such a deep-seated need for connection to each other that without it, human babies literally die. We need human touch. We need human contact. We need to be connected. That's a blessing and a curse, because there are so many things out there, so many options for your time, so many people that want to get you to resonate with them, to connect with them, to be concerned about their issues, to advocate for their positions, and so on and so forth. You got a world full of options, it seems like sometimes, right? If you're a religious or a spiritual person, of course, you want to connect with your co-religionists or the people who share your spiritual practice. If you, have a particular proclivity of some sort, maybe you're a gamer. There's people that want you to sign up and join their channel to watch them game or to join them on their quest to get the golden grail of blah, 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 or whatever, right? And that's cool too. Again, connection is normal. It's instinctive. It's something that we need. But at the end of the day, there are these ties that bind on a level larger than just your proclivities, even larger than your faith. I know that sounds strange because you're thinking, what's larger than God? I'm not talking about larger than God. I'm talking about larger than your particular expression or understanding of God. Follow me for a second. When you were born, right? Now, I'm not talking about just on a biological level, but on a cultural, social, even if you will, a spiritual level, right? In the sense of some sort of genetic memory or cellular memory, your life became tied to, connected to lives that came long before yours. And I do mean long before yours, right? If you were to go far enough back, you'd find ancestors with everybody on the planet Earth. How the fuck is that for connection? So, because of this need for connection, we reach out to each other. We do different things for, with, and to each other. We find that there are people that are connected to each other to go against our interests, and so we combat them in the realm of ideas. We combat them in the realm of resources, and yes, we even combat them openly, physically. Sometimes we have to fight them. Sometimes we have to defend against them. Sometimes they try to kill us. Sometimes we try to kill them. The point I'm trying to make this morning, family, is simply this. Everybody else in this country connects on various levels, but some of the highest level connections that they share is the connections around their heritage or their lineage, right? We just celebrated, well, I didn't, but a lot of Americans just celebrated St. Patrick's Day, a cultural celebration found amongst like the Irish folk, these Celt folk. Cool, right? Every ethnic group has their own little celebrations, their own little rituals that lets everybody know that this is who they are, that this is who they represent, right? When they experience tragedy as a group, when they experience pain and suffering as a group, their group identity, their culture, their lineage brings them together in support and solidarity with each other. When a hurt comes, they reach out to each other and they cleave to each other, right? They grab each other's hands in the bond of brother and sisterhood. and then remind each other that in a capricious universe, that things are gonna be all right, if for nobody else, for them. But we operate differently. As one of the most traumatized people, one of the most victimized people in this country, we operate differently. And historically, what you've seen oftentimes is not necessarily our opponents or our natural enemies that have been doing the harms to us. What you see often is somebody who looks like this doing the harm to you. So when someone starts saying, hey, let's get together and let's do this for our collective benefit and let's be happy about it, we get a little shaky, we get a little scary, right? Like, I don't know. And when tragedy comes, when pain comes, when suffering comes, when the capricious, sometimes random nature of the universe strikes us as a group, rather than us coming together and cleaving to each other, we atomize. We blow apart. Man, fuck them niggas, man. They look good getting fucked up to me. Fuck is he talking about? We brothers. And we're the only ones. And I'm not saying that that is responsible for where we are as a people. But I am saying that it plays a role in why sometimes we can't get where we need to go as a people. We have to first see ourselves as a collective, as a people. We have to see ourselves as having a shared identity, a shared natural grouping that allows us to come together and advocate in each other's best interests. And that's what ADOS is. That's what this is. It's an attempt to remind each other of the tie that binds. It's an attempt to say, hey, you don't have to be out here in this harsh ass world by yourself. I got you. Can you have me? That's what it really is. It's nothing more than that. Sure, we've got political aims. Sure, we've got economic aims. Sure, we've got legal aims and so on and so forth, right? But at the end of the day, me standing up and saying ADOS for life is not about any of that. So more or no more than it is about us having a connection to other human beings that's harmonious, that fosters life, that creates a space for growth, that gives me a connection to something larger than myself. When I was on some old Pan Black shit, it felt good at times. It was rough at times. But the connection is what sustained me through both the good and the bad times. Well, it's the same as this. There are going to be times when we beef, when we argue as ADOS people. Just because we connected doesn't mean we're gonna always agree. But like family, like people who care, like that gamer group who's going after the golden goblet of blah, 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 right? We have to learn to organize, to work together, to figure this shit out, to have the deep, hard conversations and reinforce those ties that bind so that we're able to make the moves we need to make for our collective interests. So why don't you go ahead, join us, get on board on this train, and let's ride this thing till the wheels fall off, shall we? It's your man again, Mark Black. I want to wish you all a happy hump day. And until the next time I speak with you, I also want to wish you love, peace, prosperity, and power, real power to our people.